Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another live stream. No camera. We are working today. But I hope you're well. You're ready to learn lots of new things. What are we up to? What are you up to? How's your Monday been? So yesterday, last Sunday, and then that last Saturday, so yesterday, let's put it that way, and then the previous Sunday and the Saturday, I was working on this new secret-ish project, and because my time is so sparse at the moment, and because I have so many podcast episodes recorded all the way out till next year now, like the 1st of January, I need to get this project done. So I thought, I'm gonna do it live. Why not? Just do it live. So feel free to stay, feel free to go. But what I'll be doing, I'll bring it up on the screen, which I'll do throughout, just to let people know who are popping in. This is gonna look, I can't even talk right now. This is what my app will look like. Coming out hopefully in the next couple of weeks. There's gonna be sections to it, so I'll try and bring up this one as well. Okay, that's the same one. Get out of here. So it's gonna have like categories. So if you tap the hypnosis library, it looks actually better than this. But this is what I'm working on. Specifically called Reflections. It's the bottom right one. And it's going to be 5 to 10 minute audios every day, every other day, which will be very specific topics that you can just absorb very, very quickly. And then I'll be telling you where to go if you want like the hypnosis session which accompanies the topic, or if there's a longer free episode of me kind of coaching you, it'll be I'll be directing you there as well. So that is my job for today. And when I've been doing these at the weekend live, I've been going on for like an hour and a half. So I'll see how long I can last this time. And it'll be the same on Friday as well. In the void, doing the work, whilst being live. But if you have questions along the way, feel free to ask them. Why not? If I'm talking about a subject and you want me to expand on it, having recorded it, why not? Why not? Hey there, Med. Great to have you here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you're feeling better. You all good now? Are you back to normal? Emphasis on the normal. Thank you. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. I'm looking forward to getting it out there. I was speaking to my devs today, and there's a few errors I want them to correct. How are you feeling, Matt? Before we get into our first of today's reflection. So far I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28 reflections complete, with over 30 to go. Oh, that's good to know that they're helping. And sleep is going to be key. So your unconscious mind, Med, can fully heal now. like we said on the last live, you're getting better and better. And you're definitely a lot calmer as stresses and anxieties soften and melt away. They just disappear. We hand them over. We let them go. And we remember, because it's a good thing to remember, the body's natural ability to heal now than ever before. Remember, it's the 21st of October and you are getting healthy. Hey there, Mina. I hope you're well. I think you said you were under the weather this last Sunday, so I hope you're feeling better. What I said to Med just now, you get that too. You get that. You get one. You get one. So, should we get into it? I've got tons to record, 5-10 minute audios once again. It's been a bit of a busy day today for me. Ah, that's awesome. Pleased to hear that. What one should I do? Should we go basic? Hey, I doubled up on that. Got to delete that. Sorry, it's been a very busy day. So, I jumped on here. So it was pretty much good that I wasn't on camera, looking all disheveled. Right. I think I want a radio station. Welcome back to 24.83 on this chill out radio of self-development. I wonder what we can learn. I would definitely go for the healing. That's what I would suggest. Or restoration. I like this video. It's like a spinning universe. Inverse universe. Welcome back to 2405.83, the Self-Development Podcast. Hey there, Cheryl. Welcome back. I hope you're well. Right, we've got work to do.
We can't just play around and get up to trouble.
Awesome. Let's see. I'm trying to think of it. So I've got a list. Right, I'm going to take a screenshot. I don't know if it won't even fit in this. So I just write how I do all my podcasts. I want to make sure it's all cool. Right, here we go. All right, where is it? So I've got a list of thoughts that I write out in the evening, and then I get on here and go, which one do I want to go for? So, Which one should we go for? Maybe procrastination, because I'm procrastinating. Okay, let's just go for it, okay? So I'm gonna have 15 seconds of silence, so I can edit this in post-production of where I kind of stop. So it'll be like silent on the waveforms. So let's start that now. Hey my friend, welcome back to another reflection. And in today's reflection, I want to give you my kind of slimmed down version of the hero's journey. You see, in every great book that you've read, in every movie you've probably watched, it tends to follow a path of the hero's journey. And I wonder what we can learn from it. And I wonder how you can be the hero of your very own journey. But in order to do so, you need to have a rough idea of the steps so you can model it for yourself and go on a great adventure in your life. So let's have a good idea when it comes to what the hero's journey is. In my version anyway, because there's more steps, but I want to kind of simplify it on this reflection. So with every great story, there's a beginning. And in that beginning, it can be just usually pretty normal, day-to-day stuff. Nothing's really happening. And then something does happen. And it begins to rock the main character's role or life in some way. Like everything's happening to them, or something big happened, like a significant emotional event which you may resonate with. And it causes the hero to go on a journey of discovery. Now, of course, at times there'll be stresses, there'll be questions, there'll be thoughts, there'll be doubts, there'll be fears. But like any great story, the character, the hero, begins to wake up. They begin to see that this problem that they're experiencing is an opportunity to grow, to really see it as a challenge to overcome, where they get resilient, they get resourceful, they begin to look for solutions, look for ideas. And on that journey, sometimes one or more people enter into the hero's life, where they seek out wisdom, or subtly, they see another cause to help that person. And along the way of wanting to discover the solution to their problem, along the way, they find something deeper, a deeper mission, something greater than beyond themselves. So it could be saving someone or going on a journey of helping many people, while simultaneously battling and resolving their own internal conflict. But what makes it easier is that they found something bigger than themselves. It's almost as if that significant emotional event, that situation in the beginning, was a wake-up call that caused this hero to go on a journey of discovery, of not just of how powerful they are. Because sometimes the events that we go through don't make us into something, but they reveal us into who we really are. Someone more than enough than you could ever imagine, more powerful than you ever thought you were. But on top of that, on that mission, they find that greater purpose. And that really is a rough idea of the hero's journey. Now, how can we relate and map this onto where you are? Now, I'm sure you too have gone through significant emotional events where some things have happened to you, or people did something to you. Now, we could keep the story there, but it's not going to be a very good page turner or movie. So I wonder if you can see that significant set of events or event as your very own wake-up call, where you go, what can I learn from this? What can it reveal about me that is something greater than I could ever imagine? And I wonder, as I go through that journey, how I can actually tap into something greater than myself, something bigger than myself. And the reason why that is powerful in every single book or every movie is because in that something greater than the hero, it gives the hero something, a meaning. And I like to think we all want to have meaning in our life. Now, for me, example, let's say, what's my own hero's journey? Well, I was going through a lot of stress growing up. I was very anxious, blushing, self-consciousness. I was always in dread, very unconfident, bad at school, dropped out of college in business. I went into a job I hated, and then it got to that one moment where I decided to figure it out, to seek out my solution. And as I was finding out that solution, guess what happened? I wanted to show other people how to do that. That is the greater than self. So my personal hero's journey was really going through the stress, significant emotional events, to wake up, to go on a journey of solve my own, and along the way to want to help many, many others. So maybe our significant events that we go through aren't the real problem, but maybe they're the instigator to the success that you truly desire, the happiness to actually grow as a person in the most beautiful way. So take that as a reframe. But yeah, bad events have happened, but they don't have to define us. In fact, they can reveal something greater than ourselves. So I hope you enjoyed this reflection, and I look forward to speaking to you on a future one. Many thanks. Oh, and be your own hero. For yourself, for your past self, and for your future self. I'll speak to you soon. Many thanks, and goodbye. I really wish I didn't hit the mic as I was pointing at the end there. But it will be okay. It will be just great. So that was the first reflection down of the hero's journey. What did you learn? What can you apply in your life as I move it up the list? So that's another one done. I need a space here because I haven't edited yesterday's ones. The to-do list is growing. Hey Angela, great to have you here. So I am actually in working mode today. I cannot be on camera. My boss has told me that if I'm gonna go live, I have to do work while I'm going live. Which I tell my boss, actually I do that every time I'm going live because I'm, creating stuff. But since it is for a secret project, I'm in the void. Sentenced to the void. Help.
I'm in the void.
Help.
I'm in the void.
So yeah, I'm just doing these 5-10 minute audios. I'm guessing the time because every time I say I get my stopwatch out, I always forget to hit it. So I think that was under 10. Hey Michelle, welcome back. Great to see you here in the chat. Thank you. The hero's journey is so awesome. And when you recognize it, that it is actually your own hero's journey, you like anyone can map onto that. And if you think of like every movie, it's a metaphor, it's an analogy which has sequential steps and milestones along the way. But the way that movies do it, they bring you into it, right? They bring you into the experience. And that's why you get so immersed as the character, as the hero. You feel for the character. You want to support them. You feel the the sadness and all that stuff. And what it's really doing, if they're doing it correctly, is they're inviting you in the eyes and the mind of the hero, or the soon-to-be hero, that will then hopefully, as they go through the milestones of transformation and awakenings, that it's actually lighting up your very own neurology to do the same. Which is quite fascinating to me. Thank you, Med. That's awesome. Yeah, there's so many stages, but I like just to keep it real simple for this one. Because yeah, you could do a masterclass on that kind of stuff. Thank you, Cheryl. Very, very kind. So what next? What next? What should we do next?
What should we do next? Oh no, I'm in the void. Oh dear.
Okay, we are going to follow up. I just had an idea of what we've done under hypnosis, but we'll be following on from this one, which I can then point people to a hypnosis session, and I think that would be awesome. And it's similar to, excuse the keyboard things because I am working, the previous one. Yeah, be the example. Be the example. Be the example. So, should we get into it? Okay, 15 seconds of silence coming up. Hey my friend, welcome back to another reflection. And in this reflection, we're going to take the analogy of a book and what is contained within the book that will allow you to be able to grow in every single way. Now, what is within every book? There are chapters, and each chapter summarizes a certain aspect of a story, whether it be the hero's journey or some kind of movie or whatever it is. There's scenes, there's different parts of every movie. I think there's specifically, I cannot remember, I think there's 4 parts of a movie, maybe 3, I forget. But let's lean into the aspect of books and chapters. And I'm sure you've been in many different chapters throughout your life. But do we really know what chapter we're in? And also, are we lingering in the same chapter for just way too long? So here's what I want you to reflect upon. I want you to at first invite into your mind from the very beginning of you, just genuinely, roughly, and you can do this written down if you wish, if it's more therapeutic. But if you were to consider the previous chapters that you've been on, what would you name them? And what would this present chapter of your life be as well? If you could name it, what would it be? Could it be the awakening? Could it be the moment of realization? Maybe it's a little bit negative. Maybe the next chapter is going to be the inspiring one. But I want you to consider and invite how you foresee this present chapter of life that you're going through. And I want you to ask yourself, how long do you need to complete that chapter? How many more paragraphs, how many more pages do you have to write in order for you to move into the very next chapter of life? You see, when we become conscious of where we are and also what we're presently maybe reliving. I mean, imagine if there was a book and there's a chapter which went on for like 1,000 pages, or it just kept on looping and looping and retelling the same page, the same story on every single page continuously over and over and over and over again. You would go crazy. You'd throw that book to the floor and go, I'm done with this. And maybe that's what we've got to do, but in terms of this chapter of your life. So consider, what do you have to have closure on? Consider that. What are you now suddenly done with to close this chapter? And if you were to then close that chapter, what is the next one? Is it something like rising out the ashes? Falling hard, bouncing back up harder? It could be absolutely anything. Really consider what would be your wake-up chapter for you to go, I'm ready for this. So name where you are presently and make a conscious and unconscious decision to close that chapter, whether it be the next day, the next week, the next month, but whatever it is, to just close it. And then begin to consciously create the new chapter of life. And what would be that story? Now, when you're beginning to consider the story of that chapter, of the awakening, or where the character faces their fears and just goes all out and all in on their dreams, consider the characteristics. And what you're doing is you're getting your unconscious mind on a metaphorical level to close the chapter you're presently in, but also know there's a next one coming up, and it's not just going to be there to be surprised for what you don't know, but now you're consciously creating the new chapter. You are actually the writer of the next chapter. And if I were you, I'd write this out, consider it. Paint those pictures in your mind as well, because therefore you are pre-teaching your unconscious mind that we are done with the old and we're now stepping into the new chapter of our life. One that serves us, one that awaken us, one that set us free. And of course, if you do this and need help with that, within the Hypnosis app, the Hypnosis Library, and the 4-hour sleep session, there is a hypnosis session called Stepping into the Next Chapter of Your Life. So you can just do a search and just maybe write down or type in chapter, and it'll bring it right back up for you. And that means you can not only think about this at a conscious level or write it out, but also get your unconscious mind to make the change on your behalf. So I hope you enjoyed this reflection, that we get to close the chapter by choice and write a wonderful, enlightening future of many great chapters ahead. With that, I'll speak to you on a soon-to-be released reflection. Many thanks and goodbye. Okay, that is another one done. I thought it was a bit similar to the hero's journey, right? So if you just got here, I'm working whilst interacting between the work. Pleased to hear that, Michelle. I try to just use yours in there as well, Med, to superpower your chapter transformations. It's almost as if they're making you reflect. these reflections. I don't know, maybe that's the intention. Yes, but that is absolutely the purpose. I want to get into a bit of philosophy and different subjects to hopefully just kind of to reframe points of view. Faced my shadow and said thank you and goodbye. Or I'm going to reword it. Many thanks and goodbye. Thank you, Angela. Appreciate that. And thank you, Med. Yeah, it's a bit of like a custom reflection a little bit by using yours. That's right. So if you are new here, so I might as well, if you just tuned in, not Mina, because she knows she's been on all of them, I think, so far. But I'm doing work for my app. It's going to look something like this. There's just my mock-up. But look, there's a part called Reflections, and it's weird. There's a tree reflecting in a lake. And these are going to be 5-10 minute audios which will go on to certain subjects. Some subjects I'll be pointing you to the accompanying free episode or hypnosis session. And that just means it kind of gives you a bit of a reframe, a wake up, an insight, a bite-sized bit of information to then go deeper into it if you want, or maybe that's just enough that you need, that little, okay, I'm awake. Oh, that's really important. I'm going to be more mindful about that. So yeah, this is for how my app's going to look like, and got hypnotic meditations and reflections. So we've done 2, the hero's journey in the next chapter. Yeah. That's awesome. Thank you for subscribing, Nilesh. I don't know if you're on this live stream or one of my other live streams, but if you're here, welcome. Thanks for subscribing. It's interesting because this live stream, we don't get too many people on. We get the best people on, let me say that first. That should be straight up. We have the best people on this live stream. But my other live streams, always have more. What does that say about me? That's right, depending on the perception. Because we delete, distort, and generalize. I can tell the person who's doing this song is very happy. Oh, I've got a good one. I like this one. Now, this is based on a study, but it's a bit of a gruesome study, and I want to have a good reflection. So should I just avoid? Yeah, I think so too. There's lots of synchronicity. Like even on my group coaching calls, the questions that I get in from my people in my program, they like mirror each other, and they also mirror the topic I was about to be speaking on that day. It's like, it's just all in sync, and we have that definitely here as well. So this next reflection, see, one thing I try to do, by the way, just from behind what I do, I'm trying to think of what did I use to be called? What was it? I can't remember what I usually call it. But in other words, every word that is said paints a picture in your eye, your mind. And in an ideal world, they've got to be positive, right? So I want to keep it positive. So there was a metaphor that a friend told me when I was learning. And the metaphor was him about going diving. And it was just a story of his, but I made it into a metaphor. And it's a really cool one. But unfortunately, the metaphor itself was creating a negative image, or an NIC, a negative internal representation. And because it was about diving, but it was barracudas, and barracudas are like big fish, and not only is it underwater, people might have phobias of water, and now it involves like a school of barracudas. So I had to change the intro when I was creating the metaphor around this story of how like the sun, the gentle lapping of the waves, like kind of really creating this, the setting up the scene in their mind. And then I changed it from barracuda to like these beautiful multicolored small fish, which painted images of like colorful, small, and things like that. So so in other words, telling you that metaphor or story is why I've got to I want to try to have positive internal representations with the words that I say. Sometimes I don't, because I want them to be able to be aware of the negative consequence if they don't change. But because this one would have involved animals, I don't think it's quite right. Well, welcome. Thank you, I appreciate that. This is not something I usually do. I'm not very good at names, but is it Raya? I appreciate your kind words. If I did mispronounce your name, please forgive me.
I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best.
But feel free to correct me, and that means I can remember. Speaking to me, the unconscious mind, to remember. Okay, you hear that, unconscious mind? Remember. Yeah, that is true. Very, very true. Oh, cool. Well, it's very, very unique. Oh, I'm still in my reverb there. But thank you for your kind words about the live stream. I'm actually doing this today, right now. Obviously, because you're here right now. Obvious. But I'm also doing it on Friday as well, because I usually go live and doing like live hypnosis or a power talk here and there, or a Q&A, but I have such little time. And I'm going away soon. I've got a ton of podcast episodes to be released. For YouTube, I've got it out till May next year, which is ridiculous. Releasing 2 videos a week. And on my podcast, I've got it to around the January the 4th. So because I'm creating, and this is for you to know, but also for anyone else here, I'm making an adjustment to my app. Oh, it's a rebuild of the app to look like this. And these are just 5-10 minute recordings under reflections to hopefully give you some thought-provoking ideas of how you can transform your life in the most wonderful, brilliant way. And to be so surprised of that transformation that you wake up every single day knowing your deep, undeniable self-certainty, deep self-value, where you get to shine to be the example what you can be for yourself, your future self, your past self, for everyone in your life. So you begin to experience the unconscious learnings of transformations all within 5 to 10 minutes on every single subject that I can think of to help people. Oh, thank you. I've surprised myself then. I'm not very good at pronunciations at the best of times. Maybe. I was speaking to him. Well, I was not speaking with him, but on one of his calls today. And I don't know if I think I can say. No, I won't say. It might be a surprise. Sorry, but I don't know. I don't know what. Look, speaking to you, the unconscious mind, you'll totally forget what I just said there, and have an undeniable experience of forgetting what I said, and be so surprised when it eventually comes out in the future. And I thank you, the unconscious mind, for doing that. Terms and conditions apply. You've always got to add the terms and conditions apply. Oh my goodness, I'm meant to be working. But we're just chatting. Maybe this is just a simulation. I'm in the void, interacting with words, and verbally replying back to them. In the simulation.
Help, 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 help. I'm lost in the void. Oh no.
And I'm back. Yeah, there's a lot to learn from that. Yeah. So very... Oh. Right. Scratch that. We'll get to that to another time. Med, are you ready for this? This is going to be for you. You ready? I gotta be cautious because I got my little boy, little Sebastian here. And that's all I say when I take him outside. Like, are you ready? So, let's get to work and enjoy this metaphor, Med, and everyone else. It's kind of custom around here. 15 seconds of radio silence. 15 seconds of radio silence starting now. Hey my friend, welcome back to another reflection, and today we're going to be talking about the rock and the river. Now it sounds pretty strange, but what can we really discuss around a rock and a river? Well, the rock represents you. The river represents you. And when we think about what that means, and bear with me, I'm not crazy, but consider this. Sometimes in your life, you have to be the river. And what is the river? Or you could say a stream, but we're going to call it river in this case, because it's a kind of rock river. Makes it better. The river is free-flowing, it's adaptable, it moves around things, there's a flow to it, it's going in one direction. Even if there's bits and bobs along the way, it just seems to naturally, effortlessly flow all the way downstream. Because it's so adaptable. And sometimes in your life, you need to have that adaptability. There'll be times where you will be in the flow. And you'll be so deeply aligned and so congruent in the current of where you're heading. And that is perfect. However, sometimes you have to be the rock. The rock, when you think about that, has to stand strong. Even if there is the river going around the rock, it still is able to maintain its strength, its core, and it's real adaptable in a different way. But it can hold its ground, it can just stop and be totally present in the moment, and even stop in an analogy to restore, to refine and to reflect on what's happening, even as the madness of the world goes through around the rock, is able to stay in that state of being grounded to the earth. That no matter what the storm, no matter what the current, it stays there. And the reason why we have the rock and the river is going to be dependent on the time of the life that you're in. So ask yourself, is it your time to be the river? Adaptable, flexible, free-flowing, congruent, deeply aligned and moving forward? But sometimes that place, although it's good, can be a little bit too much. Maybe there's a lot of external things going, so we've just got to be here and just be the rock temporarily, where you can just be in this moment to restore, to hold your ground, to really remember who you are, to be aware of the signs, to be aware of the external environment that you can learn from. And once you have that restoration and that reflection, you are then able to go back to the river. So really consider that. There's times in your life where you will want to just stop and be the rock. It is fine. If you're on burnout, for example, you want to be the rock. You want to be grounded. You want to be just in the moment and recuperate and realign yourself, having grounded. And there's going to be other times when you will be absolutely adaptable, free-flowing in every single way. And the key here is the conscious awareness of the both roles that they have and the qualities of each side of that equation. And when you're consciously aware of them, you can start to associate that role of each one, depending which one you are, to really honor where you are. That's what it's really about, being mindful of your experience and then leaning into the right one that will deeply serve you. You think sometimes being the rock of just being kind of sturdy and stuck, it's not really about that. It's about just stopping in the moment and just being adaptable in a different way by stopping to reflect in new ways. So they both have good qualities. It just depends on the area of life that you're living in right now, the chapter of your life, but lean into the one which will serve you. So ask yourself, is it time to be the rock? Is it time to be the river? Once you become conscious of it, you can start to adapt it and include it in your life, and then you can start to move to the other role whenever you're ready. There are benefits in being the rock at times and the river at times. So with that reflection, consider that, almost like a reflection in the river really, right? Consider that reflection, and I look forward to speaking to you in a future one. Many thanks, and goodbye. Okay, that was The Rock and the River, inspired by Med. It's a he that you, Med, will be at peace of being the rock right now, of recuperating and reflecting in who you are and where you're heading. Sometimes we need to know the red light, green light. Red light, stop. Green light, go. But once we become conscious, we can start to adapt. Do you hear me? Calling. Med. You have a call from your unconscious mind. To just relax and restore and reflect. Okay, so welcome back to the interlude, the break. We have now recorded 3. I tell you what, I'm so slow at doing these. I've been here for an hour, but chat gets in my way. You will get in my way, I'm only kidding. Nice. Appreciate that. Thank you, Mina. But I do enjoy here, even though it's like I could do these a lot quicker, I do enjoy just being live with you all as well. It's fun. Like I said, I'd like to have a radio station. Welcome back. This is as much of a radio voice I can have. So that one's done. And the good thing about doing this off camera, by the way, the audio quality should be a lot better because I'm right up into the mic. That's why I hit the mic even more than usual, although I'm not losing my hands less. But the closer you are to the mic, like an inch or two, the audio quality is so much better. You might not notice it, but you will. Relax. Relax, reflect, reset, restore, realign, re-energize, repurpose, and something like that. Right, about this conundrum about creating negative internal representations into my listeners' minds, I don't want to do that. I don't want to, but I've got to think of how to say it in a way which is different. When you said the integration of memories on Friday's live stream, did you mean the conscious mind? Or maybe you said reintegration. I think it was a response to the question from Mary. Mina, I'm not going to remember that. That was on Friday. Integration of memories, did I say that? What was I saying? Yes to both. If you think about it, like the way I'm not saying about the memories, but going to the analogy of we come into this world whole, and then we go through a lot of contrasting experiences, which creates internal conflict, which makes us feel conflicted, fragmented, broken, and even unfixable. But the whole idea of all the therapeutic stuff is to learn from the resistance and contrasting experiences that will integrate back into the whole. Yeah, it will integrate memories, but it'll integrate emotions, it'll integrate belief systems back into the one. But you won't be the one that you were as you entered the world because you were whole, but you'll actually be better because you'd have gone through experiences and learned and integrated it into wisdom back into wholeness. So it's like being whole, but now with wisdom. Oh, memories coming up. So your unconscious mind will repress memories a lot of the time, but when they come up, whether it be in a conscious and unconscious state, bless you, Sebastian, they come up for resolution. So I always say in my hypnosis sessions, if in that case was maybe you, the unconscious mind, will bubble up some memories or bubble up insights that you can store whenever you need them, either now or in the future, for maybe an integration. No, you're all good. We're all about the questions. I've just got to remember the answers that I gave last week. Oh, that's awesome. I appreciate that. Well, it's 3:55 p.m. I don't think I can go until midnight. For those in England, does anyone remember Graham Torrington? It was called like Graham Torrington's Late Night Love, and it was all this kind of people calling in about marriage and relationship advice. It used to be like a national broadcast one. Totally not like Art Bell at all. Thank you, Cheryl. Very, very kind. No, keep the questions coming. If you look in the title, it says plus Q&A. Give me questions, I don't mind. If I ask them, feel free. Yeah. And also pain can be, so what I've noticed with physical pain a lot of the time, so pain itself, genuinely, I'm not saying the word wrong, genuinely, I'm gonna just say should. Pain should disappear pretty quickly. Like after like 6 to 8 weeks, most pains should disappear. Unless there's emotion around the pain. And what happens is the pain is covering up the emotion because we haven't really paid attention to the emotion. So the unconscious mind screams out to us in a different way. If you're not going to pay attention to the emotion, it's going to shout at you a different way, which could be pain in this analogy. And what has to happen with pain to do that is to feel the pain and then feel the emotion beneath it and live in that emotion temporarily. So to fully express it, and you're almost telling your unconscious mind, look, I get it now. I'm in the pain and I'm feeling the emotion and I'm honoring it, and you can start to let it go. Well, this is a radio stream, and I got a face of radio. Face for the radio. Awesome, yeah, so it does count. Yeah. Graham Torrington, wasn't it? Torrington? Well, so when I was, I'm not working here at all, am I? We're just talking. I quit my full-time job so I could be part-time hypnotist, because you can't really always just like, I mean, I was 18 years old and I didn't know anything about business. I had to learn it all myself, or pay people eventually to learn a lot of it later on. And I was working at a part-time job at a private hospital in Cambridge, and I was a porter. But in this case, porter was a role for just doing everything that people didn't want to do. But I found it quite fun. So I had like the night shift type of thing. And it was a night shift, it's like to 11 p.m. or something like that, but like 7 to 11. And I would like cart people about. I'd go to the main hospital, pick up blood and platelets. So that was fun, just picking up blood in the other main hospital. But I'd also do like the security checks, walk around the building at night to make sure the windows are closed. And I'd also do the cleaning of the offices. I literally did everything. But what I liked about it was that I could have my, I don't know, well, it wasn't a phone like an iPhone back then. It was some kind of radio I had with earphones. And I used to listen to that when it came on, like the late night. Anyway, that's the story. Part of my origin story, being a porter at a private hospital. Once you name your pain, you can tame it. Right, we got to do another. We've only done 3 and we're 70 minutes in. 10-minute countdown, so 60 minutes in. Ridiculousness. 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 Alright, maybe I should think about the one. Okay, I gotta get going. Okay. Thank you, Mad. Right, radio silencers are just gonna do this, but I appreciate that. Hey my friend, welcome back to another reflection, and today we're going to be talking about regret. You see, regret is a very interesting word because it's really a deep one, because it usually can be generalized for our whole life. If we have a sense of regret, it tends to linger. Now, regret in itself can be bad, but we can actually have a reframe on it. You see, one thing I want you to take away from this very, very short reflection is that I'd rather have regret for what I did do rather than what I did not do. Think about that. Usually we have regrets on life and the big picture of things that we didn't do. Now, if we then flip it over to I prefer to have regret for the things that I did do, which means making mistakes, but still going for your dream. It means doing the hard work to get what you want, and maybe it not working out the first time round. That maybe you're going to get lots of no's. Maybe you're going to make the wrong decision. But in each one of those instances is a movement and an energy of moving forward. It's a doing thing. Rather than the regret, which I believe is the worst, is the regret of doing nothing. That is static. That is such a big regret. But with the one which is doing, the chances are, because you're doing something, you're going to get to where you want to be eventually. Yes, you may fall and fail fast, but it's better to go through that and to learn from them, knowing that each learning will allow you to get better, more adaptable, and more resilient. So ask yourself, am I regretting or going to regret for the things I didn't do? Which is not that good. Or am I going to at least change that regret for the things of having regret for the things that I did do? But I did do it because I wanted to make a change. Yes, I regret that that thing didn't work out, but still, I was doing something different. I was moving forward, and that regret seems to just disappear because every time you move forward, you learn from it, and it gets you closer to the goal and the outcome. So don't regret the things you didn't do. Try to lean into the regret of things you're about to do. Sounds weird, I know, but it means you're doing something at the very least. And if you choose to learn from every so-called failure, every so-called mistake, it's only going to enhance your resiliency. It's only going to enhance your wake-up story and the movement of the next chapters in your life. And it's going to actually add substance, because the events that you go through is going to bring something out of you. So if you're going to regret the things you are doing for moving forward, because that's going to happen. So be at peace with it, in other words. But at least you're doing something, and doing something will eventually get you where you want to be, and that will actually undo that regret. So with that, I look forward to speaking to you on a future reflection. Many thanks, and goodbye. Okay, that is one down. I want to do a short one. Oh my goodness, hit the mic. All right, I just need to stand up for a second and put my fan on. There we go. I stood up and put the fan on. One on vulnerability. Well, I can't promise I'll do it right now. But I have put it down on my list. So at least we've done... Okay, at least spell vulnerability. Vulnerability. That's a funny word, isn't it? Sometimes I think names are weird. Like Joseph. If you just think of it as like the word or your name, they sound funny when you keep saying them. Anyway, I digress. Oh, we did the hero's journey already. Delete. Are we all still here? Stream Elements is here. Thank you, Stream Elements. Okay, let's do this one. Let's mix it up and have a bit of playfulness in practice. 15 seconds of radio silence, starting now. Hey my friend, welcome back to another reflection. And in this reflection is going to be a little bit different because I want you to practice something. I want you to consider how your mind really works. You see, we take in the world for our 5 senses, and we tend to delete, distort, and generalize based on the belief systems we have, our values, our personality types, our past experiences, I said personality one, all the different things, all the different filters, and it creates an internal representation. So when you think of maybe going for that job interview, you're going to have an internal representation, a certain visual, auditory, kinesthetic kind of attachment to it. If you think of a certain food that you like, same thing. So let's invite this idea that everything is simply an association that we make up within our mind by the external being input into our brain and us trying to figure it out and have a representation. Let's just have that in our mind. Now, if you were to bring to maybe a certain situation that you're maybe a little bit worried or anxious about, or maybe there's just something which keeps on popping up. Maybe it's a memory of some sort. Don't do anything crazy big right now, but maybe just have a certain event that when you think about it, it kind of weighs on you. It kind of gives you a certain feeling and it evokes a certain association, maybe visually. And it's so simple. It's not going to necessarily change it for good, although it can absolutely do that. But this is more about you having control of how you associate the reality within you. So as you invite that association to maybe something you're worried about or something that you went through which has a negative association to, I want you to notice how it is represented in your mind. Like, is it a picture? Is it a color? Is it moving? Is it still? Are you in that picture? Are you looking through your own eyes? Is it a big picture in your mind? Is it quite far out? Is it up close right to you? Does it have sounds? Does it have an internal dialogue? Is there external sounds attached to it? And I'm doing this quickly to get your unconscious quick answer. Does it have any feelings? Are those feelings within you? Are they in a certain location? I want you just to notice your general representation in a visual, auditory, and feeling way. And as you just kind of consider that, notice that image and where it is located. And I want you to do just one thing, or a few things. I want you to make that image black and white. And what I want you to do is just move it further away from you, in front of you, but further and further away from you. Maybe 5 feet, maybe 10 feet now, maybe 20 feet. As it gets smaller and smaller, notice how your association changes. For most people who do that, the emotions and the attachment and the association will diminish because you've changed the representation into something further and smaller, and because it's black and white, it doesn't have the same kind of emotions, and it changes the sounds because they're going further away, and even the physical feelings. So what that really means is, If you change the internal association by a distance, by a color, by moving it further and further away, imagine taking that one, which is way out in front of you now, and sending it way, way back behind you. So far back that you can't even see it because you're looking forward and see all of that way, way behind you in the past. And notice how you feel about it now. Is it more or less than the original? Now, if it's less, go ahead and just send it further back, or maybe just stick it right there. You know the way you have like Tupperware boxes or lids kind of lock in place? Imagine locking it so small and so far back, and your unconscious mind can remember that. Now you may invite into your mind maybe of how you would like to be different. Notice how that is represented in your mind. Bring that right up in front of you. Make it bigger, bolder, brighter, double the size, enlarge the sounds, make it resonating all around you and within you. Build up those feelings, getting bigger and bigger, double, triple it, quadruple it. And as you bring that right up close to how you want to be, stick that right in front of you. And I presume, for most of you, when you look at it, it feels good. And all we did in both scenarios was changing the inner association of each one, making one smaller, further, and way behind us, and the other one being right up in front, all positive, bright, and bold, what makes it more exciting. 95-99% of people will give you a great effect in terms of your representation of it if you did so. If it got a little bit worse, you just reverse it. Just bring it closer and closer and closer, if that makes sense. But remember, when you catch these inner associations and you start to change them yourself consciously, your unconscious mind starts to listen to that, and it starts to do it. And the more you do it, it will start to do it on your behalf. And all we're doing is changing the inner frame, the inner pictures of our mind to change our emotional state of mind at will, consciously. So take that away and practice it. And I wonder what wonderful images you can create in your mind to really empower you, and the old ones to simply dissolve and go further and further away. And with that, I look forward to speaking to you on a future reflection. Many thanks and goodbye. Welcome back. That was another reflection done. I thought we'd do a bit of a practical one. For those into NLP, it's submodalities. Modalities are our five senses, our visual, auditory, kinesthetic, olfactory, gustatory, if I didn't say that, our five senses. And then if you say, well, that's our modality, well, if you put a sub in front of that modality, like sub-modalities, it's the subset of each modality. So what is the subset of a visual? Well, it's going to be size, location, color, black and white, movie, still, distance. What's a sub-modality of, say, a feeling? Well, it's going to be location, it's going to be maybe size, it's going to be temperature, maybe, it's going to be, you can have a color representation, but it's like the subset of each modality. And everything we create in our own mind is a submodality. And if we change the submodality, we change the meaning of the representation. If we change the meaning of the representation, we see and experience the world differently, whether it be in our mind, imaginary from our past or our future, or just how we associate things. I actually let go of a phobia of bananas, of all things, by just doing that in 5 minutes with someone. It's quite ridiculously good. So that's what that was about. Hey Mary, welcome back. You're late, you troublemaker. That is troublemaker behavior, being late. Hey Rebecca, great to have you here. Welcome, welcome. This is it's usually a planned stream, but I'm usually on camera, but I've got to work more. So I'm just recording my secret project, which is not that secret because I'm doing it live, which is very meta. But that secret project looks a little bit like this. This is going to be what my app's going to look like. As you can see, there's 2 new sections, hypnotic meditations, but also you got reflections. These are like 5-10 minute audios, bite-sized information that will allow you to apply, be mindful, to notice, and then on those reflections, I will occasionally, depending on the subject, point to like, oh, well, I talked about resilience in this episode or that reflection. Listen to the resilience 4-hour session or the day one. So, or like I did one on Thursday last week on gratitude, 3 steps of gratitude under like 7 minutes. And then that said, well, listen to the gratitude hypnosis session. Oh, it's great to have you here. And thank you. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it's going to get a real big change in a couple of weeks. Hopefully less. Hopefully less. Yeah, Mary, you're a troublemaker. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. What can we do? What can we do? I'm trying to think I can quickly do a topic or a process. But we support you. Look at that. Rebecca on Facebook says that. Yeah, that's one I suggested, isn't it? I'm trying to think of just like for example, the one I just did just now. You could turn your association to that, like when you think about it. Okay. I don't know if I've done this one already. Did I do this one? Okay, this might help a little bit. So 15 seconds of radio silence. Hey my friend, welcome back to another reflection. Now in this reflection, is going to be about anxiety. It's going to be about dread, overwhelm, and maybe perfectionism in having to get something right. Or maybe you've got an event coming up that you feel like you're a little bit concerned about, a little bit worried about. And it could be as simple as, or not simple, but it could be like a job interview. It could be meeting someone. It could be something bigger than that. And maybe you're experiencing some worries and doubts. Now, the worries and doubts and the anxiety is focusing on the conclusion that we dislike, the conclusion of all the things which could go wrong, which actually creates within our neurology maybe the fight and flight response. And it gives us, obviously, as we said, the emotion of anxiety. And unfortunately, when we feel anxious, we get more anxious. It's kind of like just getting our mind to look for all the places. Like, here's my analogy, which I've said on another reflection, but if you can imagine like a GPS system, when you get into your car, you open like Google Maps or Apple Maps. If you put in every direction you didn't want to go to, expecting to get to the destination you do want to go through, you're setting yourself up for failure. Now that's very much like anxiety, focusing on all the things you don't want to happen in the hope that everything's going to be okay. Now, if we consider that as an analogy, what do we have to do in terms of that GPS? Well, if we're going to do it correctly, we have our attention on the destination. Only the destination, and then the computer, the phone will map out not only how to get there, but the fastest, quickest way to get there, and also alternative ways of getting there. So what does this mean in terms of if we're going through worry, anxiety, and doubt? Well, the anxiety is, as we said, all things we don't want, and of course we don't have what we want because we're not quite there yet, because it's in the future. So we have to play not a trick, but a pre-teaching experience to the unconscious mind to settle, to relax, and to actually be different. So in your mind's eye, if you do have something coming up which you're very nervous or anxious or overwhelmed by, I want you to imagine in your mind going to the successful completion of that event. So in other words, if you were to float up above the now, looking off into the future, floating over that event and going all the way into the event, but after the event, and you get to choose. Maybe it's 5 minutes after, where everything went perfectly, where you performed perfectly, where everything worked out exactly how you wanted to, where you performed already exactly how you wanted to act and react. It may be maybe a week after. It could be a few hours after, but in your mind's eye, go to the successful completion of that event. You see, when you look through the eyes of the successful completion of having made that change already, having completed the task or the situation where it went perfectly in your favor, and you felt so good that you went through the situation in terms of achievement, you may notice the anxiety is no longer there. Why? Because you imagined the successful completion. If you did have anxiety still, it means you weren't really fully hallucinating the successful completion. But when you do, the anxiety will start to disappear, dissipate, dissolve, knowing you've gone through the event already. Now, of course, along the way, if there is a little bit of anxiety still, it might mean you might have a limiting belief about yourself. So let's just say you weren't feeling worthy or good enough. When you think about that situation, maybe dive into a hypnosis session from the hypnosis library of that in itself. And also, there is a goal setting session in the hypnosis library which kind of fleshes this out, but in more of a hypnotic way. And that will just get your unconscious mind deeply aligned and congruent with the absolute successful outcome. Remember, anxiety is the unsuccessful scenarios. When we look at the completion, the successful completion, how can we be anxious? What we're doing is we're telling the unconscious mind, this is how we want to be. This is the successful completion, and let's focus on it like putting in the destination of your outcome in the GPS of your unconscious mind so it can find the quickest, most powerful route in your favor. So please go ahead and apply that, practice it, and also listen to an accompanying hypnosis session if there is a limiting belief, whatever that belief is. Look for it in the hypnosis library, or the goal setting one if you want to be able to be a bit more focused on a hypnotic experience where I'm guiding you through it. So I hope you get value from this. No matter where you are, what's coming up, you have so much more, and sometimes events like these can actually reveal to us the true powerful self that we never knew were there, but maybe that event really revealed it to us. And there's a great message in learning there. For you are powerful beyond what you know, but there's so much more self-empowerment and wholeness within you, ready and waiting for you. So I hope you enjoyed this reflection, and I look forward to speaking to you on a future one. Many thanks, and goodbye. Oh, there we go. Exactly. And you're very, very welcome, Rebecca. I wasn't on Friday's stream. I wanted to recommend the Powerful Under Stress Hypnosis. I think that's what it's called. Powerful Under Stress. Okay. Look for that one as well. Thank you, Mina. I do everything on the fly. All I do for every live stream, I have a sentence. And so, for example, there's what I'm working from today. I made these notes in the evening. So these are the topics I wanted to record. And you'll like recognize like small steps create big leaps. Or the candle metaphor, which is a personal but a powerful one for me. Or like invisible cages, which I want to do, but I've got to think of a way of reframing it to create a positive internal representation for the listener. I even saw a little reel of the comedian Theo Thorne, and I wanted to mention what he said about shopping lists. It was one of his serious moments. So all I do is I get the sentence in my mind and then get going on the recording and just see what pops up. Like obviously I have an idea because you said about anxiety, so then I think, well, what's a process that you can practice? What is anxiety? What is the reverse of anxiety? How can we re-engineer it into how we want it to, and then go from there? Oh, and just so you can see, Rebecca Mary also says, thank you. Nice little community we've got here. But yeah, I just have prompts. So when I'm in my evening. So another example of that is if I do an Instagram reel or whatever they're called, story. Are they stories or rather? I never know. But I just write a note, a sentence, and then I think, what are 5 other things I can say which will add to that sentence? And then I put it on the story. So we just go from that. Trust me, I never could have done that. But I've practiced this. Like, I don't know how to play the guitar. But if I did want to, I'd have to practice. So we did one for Med with the Rock and River tonight as well. Well, tonight's only 4:30. Feels like it because I've been here for 96 minutes now. But it's all practice. No. Do you want me to do it quickly now? I know we haven't got many people here, but I need 3 yeses. I need 3 yeses, and I'll do the metaphor right now. And it'll be on the flyer.
But I do know the metaphor because I didn't make it up. But it came to me. But then I've heard other people say it. But I don't remember hearing it before. But you'll be like, oh, I know that one. But it was meaningful to me.
So, we've got 2 yeses. I know we haven't got many people here, but I still need another yes if we're gonna go. Like, Med's probably gone to sleep now. He should be asleep. It's half past midnight. But only 2 yeses. So sadly not, I'm afraid.
No. 3, no. I need 3.
I need 3 yeses to go on. I mean, I should finish. I've got to edit all these as well. And I've got to edit yesterday's live streams. I'm going to hydrate for a second. Give you time for one more yes. Rebecca, she may have gone. So I know I don't want to hear that stupid metaphor. That's silly. Is that what you thought, Rebecca? You can put a no in the chat as well. I don't want to hear that metaphor. So, that's a no. Oh, look at that. We got 3 yeses. After all. Would you believe it? We had Mary say yes, Mina say yes, and this bozo say yes. Mr. C was like, nope. Alright, so it's going to be a short one. I did have it on my list to do. And I usually, when I close my talks, there's where I tend to say this little metaphor. So it's going to be very, very short. So I've got to get it in my mind now. So give me like 20 seconds just to remember the metaphor. Because I know what the metaphor is, but I need to flesh it out for like 5-10 minutes to have it. Not 10, but to... You know what I mean. I gotta think for a second. Right now. Hey my friend, welcome back to another reflection. And today this reflection is just more of a metaphor of transformation. Now, I felt like this metaphor came to me, but I'm not going to say it hasn't been around for many, many years as well. I'm just saying that it just kind of came to me, so I'm not claiming it as my own, but I felt like it did just that come to me, right? Now, I sometimes represent our experience like we're a candle. A candle that is unlit. Almost as if we feel like we are in the darkness, that we cannot see any light, that we can't see what's in front of us, what's behind us. We just seem to be lost, and we seem to have lost our own light. Now, somewhere along the way, someone sees something within us, and there's another candle. Now, when this candle gets closer to you, maybe this unlit candle, and lights your flame, what does it take away from the candle that lit up your flame? Absolutely nothing. You see, lighting up the candle of yours did absolutely nothing to take away from the other candle, but in fact added more light into this darkness. Now, like all good candles, as that candle enlightens the illusionary darkness, wherever it goes, along the journey, that candle which is now lit up will begin to see other candles out there, unlit. And just like the candle that lit up your flame, but took nothing away from its flame, but gave you the flame, we do just that. We tend to just light up all the unlit candles, and the great thing is, it took and takes nothing away from you, but it actually gives you something. Because for every flame that is lit up from that candle, we see more light in the world. We enlighten the illusionary darkness. And ultimately, if every other candle did just that, imagine how much light we could see in a once dark room, which once felt lost and alone, but then suddenly we gave to one another the light, the example of what can be done, and paid it forward without taking anything away from us, because doing good for others takes nothing away from you because it fuels you. But on top of that, it gives other people permission to do the exact same thing. So take that as you will. But I like to see it in my own life, that I was once that unlit candle when somewhere along the way, I managed to find that flame be lit up by help. And then it led me on this journey of wanting to light up all the unlit candles in the world. And it doesn't take anything from me if I light up that candle. And it does the exact same thing for you. And together, the benefit, it makes you feel good, but it also brings more light into that illusionary darkness. So take that as you wish, but I hope you enjoyed that reflection, and I look forward to speaking to you in a future one. Many thanks, and goodbye. So that's my metaphor. That's my metaphor of the candle. So we'll add that to the to-do list. Oh, we didn't add the one we said about for Mary, which was the reverse. We'll call it reverse anxiety, success, full completion. It's really hard to type when there's a mic in front of you. Did I do another one in between then? Yeah, I like that. Like, I don't know if it was mine. I'll be honest. I feel like I did though. But if someone says to me, no, I said that before, then that's fine as well. But I'm sure I thought of it. Because it did come to me one day. But maybe I heard it and forgot that I heard it. So that's why I'm being very open in terms of, is it mine or someone else's? But I'm brave enough to go, I think it could be mine. Yeah, I just did some on Sunday, but I've made a mistake. So the mistake one is this. I need to fix it. Where is it? This one here. This is meant to be a forever loop, but it jumps back like that. So I gotta delete that one or fix it and stop it, because I don't like it just stopping and then resetting. Which one do I like? I don't like that one, so I'm gonna probably delete that one. It's too bright. But I think this one's pretty cool. I like that one. And this is one of my favorites, that one. Oh my goodness. I've been streaming for 106 minutes. Have I streamed longer than this before? I don't know. I don't know. Do you know?
I don't know.
Do you know? No, I don't know. Do you know?
Nope, I don't know.
What about you, small robot?
I definitely don't know.
That makes you sound a bit schizophrenic, doesn't it? The colorful liquid sand. Yeah. I've got messages coming in. I'm fascinated with see, this one was taken from my intro. But I added the intro. I put the blue sun on my intro. I have the blue sun inside that. So, oh, get this. I've received 2 new reviews on my app on the iPhone App Store. Shall I read them out? Let me read them out. 2 new 5 stars. Let's see how good, if it's good. So, oh, there's awesome. So someone says, truly life-changing. Joe's guided hypnosis helped me identify my feelings, see my unconscious motivations, and get control of them. It gave me confidence and calm. It's been my daily tool, truly helpful. Oh, that's nice. Thank you ever so much. And then this other person said, hi, I'm a 76 years male. 76, so they mean 76-year-old male. Not motivated to do what needs to be done, and not sure why, but rather self-limiting. So this app was mentioned on Reddit. Look at that, I was mentioned on Reddit. So I decided to give it a go, and just the free stuff so far, motivation, and it's definitely noticeable. I'm doing more and enjoying it. Thank you. That's awesome. First of all, I didn't know. I thought Reddit was for like teenagers and 20-year-olds. But that's awesome, and thank you for whoever mentioned me on Reddit. Nice. Reviews help people. Now, if someone reads that review, they're inspired to download it. All good, my friend. So yeah, that was a nice little notification. I did get a couple others, but that drew me to my attention. Oh, there's a deal on Amazon. Don't miss out on this. They know they've got me on this new microphone from my wish list. No, I've got enough microphones. I got my backup one, and I got another one or two in my box. It's actually a suitcase of gear. So, no microphone for Amazon. So obviously, I made a crazy big generalization, so I do apologize for those. I just thought Reddit was designed for younger people. I mean, I've gone on Reddit. Let's be honest, because it's like a Google search engine if you do a search. But I just thought it was for that, but I do apologize. Anyway, it wasn't me. Who was it?
It was me. I take responsibility. It wasn't Joseph at all.
And I take responsibility too.
And I take responsibility too. I take responsibility for this one. No, I'm Spartacus. Is it Spartacus or was it?
So I'm Spartacus. Was it that one? Different movie? Different thing? Blue, white, yellow. Oh yeah, that's that one. I saw that. I thought, oh, it's a little bit different from. Is it this one coming up? Not this one. Oh my goodness, my Amazon. My Amazon. Because I just get everything from Amazon. Okay, I think I should probably stop now before I go too delirious. But we did manage, I think, at a bare minimum, do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 today. No, I didn't. I put them all in the wrong list. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, I made big mistakes. I didn't do that many at all. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's so much more less than I just previously said. But it was fun. So thank you all for being here. Feel free to hit the thumbs up. I'm going to take the B-boy out for a little wander, although I took him out just before I started. But we got to do that. So thank you all for being here. I'm going to be here on Friday doing the exact same thing. So I do apologize for no live hypnosis or meditations or power talks. It is just a list, not even a watch, but not a watch me work stream, but a listen to me work stream while talking in between. You are more than welcome, and remember, you've got this. You've got this, Mary. You've got this. So thank you all. I will be back on Friday. I might even come back beforehand. I very much doubt it, but you never know. So be subscribed and things. So Ah, pleased to hear that. Thank you for your kind words and your presence in the present. So I'll speak to you all soon. Many thanks, and goodbye.